Hello, welcome to our webinar. If you have questions, you can ask using the Q&A section whenever you want. Yes, now we are starting. Yes, hello. My name is Aydın Özçekiç. I am the founder of Botmore Technology, and today we will talk about issue management and how we can make better issue management workflows. First of all, issues are so critical for the project management, as you know. They create roadblocks for your project, and it's not easy to plan and beforehand to see the issue because issues are not predictable. Because of that, you need efficient project management. If you need efficient project management, you need a better issue management. Now I want to enter some type of issues which are so important to understand the issue. One of the issue type is major problems. These are directly affect your construction process, your production, and that kind of problems are so important that you have to understand them beforehand. You have to find solutions so fast, and that kind of problems just is not easy to understand beforehand. And some issues are just a concern. For example, there's a problem, but it's not a so big thing. It's just a small coordination problem, but it can create a major problem afterwards. And these concerns are so important to understand what is going on the site and to understand the root causes of major problems. So the concerns are other type of issues which are so important. And all times the issues are not always bad. Sometimes they can be an opportunity. Some type of issues can create an opportunity for you. For example, there's a idle machinery on the site, but you understood that nobody is using it, and you can create the opportunity to solve a problem using this equipment. Of course, this is a type of issue for you because you have to first of all you should understand that machine is idle, nobody is using it, and so then afterwards you can create an opportunity for you or for your team. And the fourth type of issue is the situation. Situation is not controlled by you. For example, there's an accident, or maybe is a better conditions is a situation, and you should understand the situation and you create the issues about it, and you have to solve them. You take some precautions, and you have to work on the minimize the risks. Generally, if you try to manage your issues, whichever tool you are using or whichever technology you are using, you need some kind of data. Generally, the best side of the issue management is from the data perspective. You are collecting a tabular data in like an Excel data because you need a description of the issue, priority, location, potential impact, deadline, responsible, status, and notes. So as you see, this is also so concrete thing. You can collect this like in Excel or other kind of tools. Just that kind of information can define an issue for you, and then you can find a solution to it. So from this perspective, issue management is not so complicated thing. And from the data perspective, it's a labeled data. All these data are connected each other, and you can use different technologies easily on it. Now, in traditional way, collecting data for issue, what we are doing on the site. Unfortunately, paper forms are using frequently on construction site. As I see in the UK and in other parts of the world, people filling the forms about issues, and then these forms are collected to the construction site by the construction site teams, then they enter to them to the Excel. It's not a good way of process to manage, of course, issues, because it's so slow and nobody can coordinate the solution easily. But on the other hand, there are some project management software and apps now people are using on the site. It is more easy to collect the data about issues, and you can take the picture, you can put some documents on it, drawings, other kind of things, and I think it is they are working well, but unfortunately they have some bottlenecks. One of them are, if you are using some project management solutions on the site, unfortunately the coordination still is a problem, because you collect this data, you send this data to the project management software, then it creates a notification to the related people, the responsible people, and this process is not working generally so clearly, and some data are just not moving in real time. I think it is not a good process. If you look generally issue management workflow, there are some steps, and one is you have to create an issue. Somebody who see the problem have to create an issue. Then it should trigger at real-time reporting, and logging the issue is important because afterwards you want to check the issue, and then you have to assign this issue to a responsible. I think it's one of the most important things, because each issue needs a responsible, and you have to. It should be transparency. It should be transparent, and you have to assign issue easily. I think is an important thing. Then you have to monitor the progress, how is going on, how is the solution is going on, is working or not. Then you have to assess the impact and approve resolution. You have to approve the resolution. There's an somebody who approves this workflow, who understands the best, tries to find the best solution with the proper resources, because you can't use a lot of resource just one issue, and there should be a risk analysis about it. Then the issue is closing. And in this whole process, maybe you know it, how can you use AI? AI can help in different ways to you in issue management, and one is in the creating issue. If you are trying to create issue, it should be fast, because there's an accident or there is an event which is affecting the construction site directly, and you have to create an issue very fast. It should be easy, because people are on the site, are working on different problems, and they will have to create issue effectively, and it should be well defined. When we are working on construction sites, generally we saw that issues are not well defined. Somebody has created an issue and there's no any well description. It doesn't have any solution proposal. So it's just a note, and it doesn't. And other people, when reading it, they didn't feel what is the problem and how can they solve it. So I think the definition of the problem is so important in the creating issue step, and categorization of the issue. Because if you don't categorize the issue in the first place, then it starts to be a big problem for you. Who will be responsible, and which discipline will work on it. It is about architecture, it's about BIM, it's about the construction site team. You have to understand beforehand clearly. If you don't do this, issues start to wait. Who will be responsible, and it takes too much time. If it is critical, it creates a huge damage in your project. For the creating issue, we generally use NLP technology. Just I want to show that this video can open. NLP. What is NLP? NLP is natural language processing. When you are trying to create an issue, what? It doesn't working. And now it's working. When you try to create an issue, generally you have to enter data so fast. You have to do that. So we are using a chatbot. Chatbot is an automatic tool which can answer different questions, and it can ask some questions to you and collect some data. And we use this technology to understand what is going on the site about the issue, and to collect data using our chatbot, digital assistant. That is an easy way because it is just asking some questions to you, and you are answering it using your, for example, WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. So it's a so natural way to collect the data. On the other hand, you can use different type of words, but automatically a digital assistant understood it in a labeled format, in a standard format. For example, you say that in second floor in block A of your construction, and it directly understand your place and solve the problem. Just a minute. Yeah. And what we try to do using this chatbot and that kind of technology, we try to make communication easily, and we make the coordination more effectively. And normally, in an issue management of a construction site, people are, in average, make 15 minutes call per issue. 5 notes of WhatsApp messages are sending for each issue, and 3 notes of email per issue is sending. I think this is a lot of things, because when you think about that, people are spending a lot of time to write an email or calling each other to understand who is responsible, how the issue is going on, and they try to understand that kind of things. And it's not an easy process. So because of that, we try to use not only collecting data, digital assistant, yes, collecting data, asking some questions to the responsible people, but in the background, it assigns this issue to the responsible people. I think this is more important. And then take the data from the people who create the issue, and then they carry this the data to assign people, and asking some questions to the responsible people about his plans, what he will do, and that collect that kind of information. And this is so valuable for you to understand how he will solve this issue and when he will solve this issue. And then he makes some notifications about the deadlines and about the other things to make the issue process more smooth. And in that way, we can gain a lot of time about the coordination, and we have a lot of reports which will be so insightful for the construction site teams and construction managers, project managers, because you start to understand, oh yes, our issues are solving, and where are the bottlenecks, who are living problems with these issues and can solve it. I think they're also important to understand. So, as a digital assistant, as I said, first a digital assistant assign an issue to the responsible people, notify the responsible people, and ask questions about the progress and chase the process. I think this first step is so important, because normally somebody have to do that, and it takes time. So when a digital assistant is doing that as an interface, it asks questions and when you ask questions to people feel that they have to give an answer. Okay, it's a bit different from an app notification, because in digital assistant, for example, you are using Teams, WhatsApp, whatever. A digital assistant asking a question about an issue to you directly, saying that, did you solve it? What is the problem? Why it is late? The kind of questions are so critical to understand what is going on the site, really, and why the problems can't be solved. And this is generally, as I said, a coordination problem. Now we work on the WhatsApp, for example, to create a chatbot and to maintain this coordination. In construction project management, there are different level of management, and in the micro level, everything depends on the coordination. And if you don't coordinate different parties, from the designer to engineer to subcontractors, you can't implement your project plan. So in that point, issue management is critical, and you have to follow, you have to chase each step carefully. To do that, of course, you have to use the tools which can be directly reach the people and in daily use. Because of, we can suggest WhatsApp to you or other tools. In WhatsApp, by a chatbot, you can make a good connection with the people responsible, and the people who are creating issue can coordinate easily. And on the other hand, of course, solutions are critical, because yes, we create an issue, yes, we coordinate it, but at the end, there are some solutions for, especially some issues are repetitive. So in that kind of issues, we can directly offer a solution to the responsible people or the creator of the issue. For example, when you try to create an issue, automatically you can see some possible solutions about your issue. I think it will be very, very valuable. For example, there's a crack on the wall on the construction site, and you start to create a quality check issue. And in that point, there can be a direct solution recommendations for you about, you can reach directly to, for example, subcontractor, or you can solve this problem in different manners, and the solution recommendations can make your life easier. And because of, and you can do this by machine learning. Why? Because as I said in the beginning, this data about the issue is tabular. So in the tabular data, you can play a lot of machine learning algorithm, and you can make different recommendations, create recommendation systems for your company. And as a company, we are working on that kind of things, and they are so easy at the moment. Now, if you have a data in a project, for example, in 6 months and 8 months, and then automatically it can start to make recommendations for you, especially for the repetitive issues which you are living. So when you type some issue to the chatbot or digital assistant, automatically it can make some suggestions to you. This system can work in the background, and it trains itself with your data. I think it can be good part of the AI usage for the issue management. And risk evaluation, especially when we create issues, we always think about the, of course, possible impact of this issue to the construction process and construction plan. And a lot of time, it's not easy to understand that, because some issues can be seen not so complicated, but then it can create a big problem for you. For example, material procurement. Some material is procurement is late, and it can create a lot of different impacts in your construction plan. And in that point, it can be too risky. And you know, in construction sector, we have a short time, so we need have to make this risk evaluation so fast. And machine learning and AI can be used in that area too. How we can use it? First, you know, we create some issues and we know their impacts. So normally, if you make a micro analysis to understand what is going on about this issue and impact of issue, it's not easy process, because you have to understand the issue, then you should understand the impact of it for each tasks, then you should work on these tasks to understand the risk. But machine learning is a different thing. Machine learning just depends on the data, and it makes fast and, of course, not always true, but reliable suggestions to you. So in that point, you have data and different type of issues. You already have some impacts. So in that point, and a machine learning algorithm can help you to understand what will be impact of this issue. For example, there is a late procurement again about, for example, cement. In that point, automatically machine learning can say that this is an important, very risky issue, and you have to take that kind of precautions beforehand. I think that kind of things are important in the construction side, and you can use machine learning for the risk evaluation. Depends on your historical data, your teams or your construction site historical data. Of course, if you are repeat same kind of projects again and again, it will be more valuable because you can use this data in first project's data to the others, and you can catch different risk points. In that point, just I talk about the construction side, but you don't just focus on that. If you are a designer, if you are work on the design side, you can use issue management risk evaluation again, because there is some patterns which can cause the late submission of your models or your designs. And if you can catch that kind of things using machine learning, when there's an issue about, for example, about design, about the crash detection, that kind of things, automatically we start to understand and we make a risk analysis how these problems will create impact on your general project plan. So, of course, this kind of things can be used step by step, not a one-shot things, but you should think about that kind of things because it will make companies' life easier afterwards. Now, we are working on issue management assistant for a long time now. We have in 10 days, we have a new AI-powered issue management assistant. If you want to try it, just reach me and try it. It will be a free try, and you can see how a digital assistant can manage that kind of issues. You shouldn't be a big company or small company. You can be a small team or you can be a big company. At the end, digital assistant is making a good job for the coordination, and it's a full automatical thing. So you can try, because I try to explain now, but it's not easy. I know that because it's a different approach. You can try it, and it is a good way to collect data. Why I mention about to collect data? Because if you can collect data effectively, you can do other AI solutions. For example, we talk about the risk analysis with machine learning, or some solution finding, easy solution finding with machine learning. That kind of things not easy just without data. So first of all, you have to collect data, and if this data is labeled, this data is connected to other systems, then it can be more meaningful, and then you can run machine learning algorithms, and you can try different things, make different advantages for your company or for your team. Yes, it's a short presentation about how we can approach issue management. As I said, you can try our issue management chatbot, digital assistant if you like. But on the other hand, you can use that kind of technologies. You have to have plan how we can use that kind of technologies. In the background, I know you are using different tools for issue management. For example, BIM 360, Autodesk BIM 360 is working to collect that kind of data. But at the end, we know that there's a problem in that kind of systems. The first problem is, unfortunately, they are not real time. And secondly, they are not creating a proper workflow for you. Because we know that in the construction site, especially, people always enter the data late, and is affecting all the issue management process. Yes, do you have any question? If you have, you can please write it. I'll try to answer it. Yes. If you don't have, I will conclude this presentation. I don't want to take a lot of time. If you have a question, you can ask by mail or calling our company. Oh, I think we have some question. Just a minute. No, okay. Thank you very much for your time. I hope I can give some clues about how you can use AI in issue management and the importance of issue management in the construction planning. Thank you very much. See you.